going live. Hello and welcome to Easy Chat. This is episode 132 as far as I can count, but with my dyslexia, with everything, I might be wrong. If you're watching us in the replay, thank you very much for taking time, and this is going to be a good one for you, I can promise that. So today I have a wonderful guest. Let me introduce you to Una Doyle Love, all the way from Manchester. Hi, Una.
Hi, Juliette. Hi. And it's lovely to actually hear an Irish accent. Sorry, let me turn my phone off. I should have turned that sound off. I'm actually from Dublin originally, and I grew up there, but I've lived most of my adult life over in the north of England. So originally in Leeds and now in Manchester.
You have such an interesting combination of this sort of Manchester accent and the Irish accent. I hear a lot of Manchester accent when you start talking, but then when I watch you for a while, I always pick up on the Dublin accent too, which is it's a brilliant. I have this like.
After we finish, I'll be sounding more Irish than my mother.
Must be. Well, their mother was very. Yeah, that's right. But it's interesting because yesterday I had an easy chat with Susie McLean Pont, and she is from Netherlands, but she sounds very American because she grew up in America. Well, she was there till she was 7 years old, so it's like all my easy chats are very interesting accents, and then I'm adding my own, so it's great. I love it. So let's go and dig deep, because this is a show that I've been promoting because we are going to talk about a subject that's so close to a lot of people in my group, a lot of my clients, and it's a subject of pricing yourself. We have Melanie. Melanie is. I was actually talking to you Una earlier, and I was telling you about Melanie, and we were talking about the prices with her. I'm delighted to see Melanie here. I thought that you won't make it, and Jane Stewart is here. Hi, Jane. So yes, this is an issue, and let's talk about even in my own story. I came online. You are doing a lot of soul searching. It was a brand new business idea for me to do coaching online, even though I have been coaching before I even realized, for years. But it was just something, that I didn't charge for, and I didn't really think about it as a potentially business, and then I came online and started doing, not I came online, but I sort of entered this area, and I saw so many people making money with what they know, and I thought, hang on a second, I can do this. So, and I started creating my online course, and Facebook is my passion. So I'm here and I'm doing this, and then of course the little cockroaches in my head started, making themselves known and saying, do you deserve this? And, who's going to pay you 99 euros or who's going to pay you $199? And this is little money comparing to what people charge.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me tell you a story. Okay. And I was told this story by a person who was this person's friend. In fact, they had shared that office with them for several years. And this guy, he was a coach, trainer type person, and he wanted to put his prices up. And just as he was talking about this, he got an inquiry from a massive, global company. And so he thought, okay, I'm going to put my prices up. And he put in a quote for 3 days of workshop facilitation for $15,000. Now, that was like nearly double what he had been charging before. So he was kind of like, oh gosh, right, I'll do this. Anyway, didn't hear anything. So he thought, oh, I didn't get it. And he put his prices back down. Okay, because he thought he didn't get it because of how much he'd been charging. And so what happened was, a year later, he got a phone call from the office of this company that had asked for the proposal. And they said, we want you to come in and do this work you quoted for a year ago. So he's like, oh, brilliant, that's amazing. Because he hadn't put his prices up since then. And because he'd been too afraid of the response that he would get because of what had happened with this company. So anyway, he goes there and he does such an amazing job. At the end of the first day, the boss person said, actually, do you know what? Let's not waste the next 2 days. Let's all go back. We all have enough to do, and it's going to be amazing and fantastic. So he was like, wow, that's amazing. And so because they had to change the travel arrangements, he ended up in a car going back to the airport with the boss guy. But the boss guy was looking really upset. He was not saying a word. He was looking out the window and being kind of looking grumpy. And so eventually he plucked up the courage to say, look, is something wrong? And the guy said, well, yeah, actually. He said, we could have had these results a year ago. but I wouldn't use you because I thought you weren't any good. And so he said, well, okay, do you mind me asking, why didn't you think I was any good? And he said, well, because you weren't charging enough. And he said, oh, right, well, how much should I have been charging in order for you to have thought I was any good? And his answer was, oh, I don't know, about $100,000. Okay? Now, not everybody's customer is a global company, and not everybody's service is going to have the impact that this guy did have on that company. However, I just wanted to share that story to absolutely smash through the belief that there are not customers who will pay your prices.
It's an amazing story, and you know what? It's so
I know the person who was friends with this guy. He shared his office. It's not an urban myth.
No, I 100% believe you. And even in my personal life, and I'm sure that everybody will find somebody that they know who judges businesses by how much they charged. I actually was told by one of the people I worked with, a client, that we need to hire proper digital marketing agency only on the premises that I work from a virtual office. Yeah. And he was looking at people who were working in the office, who was charging 20 grand for the job that I could be doing for him. 2 years later, when he wasted his money, he came back to me.
But the thing is, it's about value.
Yes. Okay.
And really what I want to ask all your viewers to do is to understand that it's about what the value is worth to your client. Yes. It's not about you.
That's right.
Okay? Now, it kind of is about you, because if your lack of self-worth is getting in the way, then you're actually potentially depriving clients of your talents. And the way I liken that is, like, we're coming up to Christmas now. At this time of year, people are starting Christmas shopping, and that, well, the really organised ones are. And the thing is like, if you were to go and buy presents for all your friends and family, and then go and put them in the cupboard under the stairs or up in the attic or wherever it is that you have some storage, and never take them out again, that is actually what a lot of one per solo entrepreneurs and freelancers are doing. And I think particularly with the creative services is that the work can feel so personal. That when somebody has designed something, or they're making a video, or maybe they're an artist, or whatever it is, that it's them doing it. It's not like selling a widget, that is personal, is personally being created by them. And so what I want people to do is to take a bit of distance. And here's an analogy for you that I think is really powerful. Think of your business as a vehicle, okay? And you're the driver of that vehicle. Now, if right now, like, what would your vehicle be right now, Juliette?
Oh, well, like you're asking me, what am I driving right now? Do I have to reveal it publicly?
But if your business was a car, what car would it be?
It's a bad question, because I'm not really into car makes or types or anything.
Okay,
I'm like,
no problem. But let's take the example of somebody who's maybe just starting out, or they've been going a while, but they haven't really got traction yet. So really, it's like they're driving a bit of a clapped out banger, okay? Because it's just about going, but it hasn't, it doesn't have the oomph to kind of really be able to go, and it's the ride.
Are you talking about my Reno? Driving on 3 cylinders.
So the thing is that, can you imagine the driver of that car suddenly being transplanted into a Formula 1 car and being asked to race around the track? What do you think would happen?
Oh, they won't be able to, yeah.
No, they'll probably crash.
Yes.
And injure themselves and potentially other people in the process. And so the thing is, in order to be able to drive a better vehicle, you have to become a better driver.
That's right.
So the thing is, for people, particularly those who are offering services, that, it's not about getting better equipment or better software or doing another course to become better at what you do. It's actually about, well, what are you doing to grow your entrepreneurial skills? And that's really what I'm doing with my clients, is helping them to develop those entrepreneurial skills. But it's not one size fits all. it's actually about, as I use a personality profiling tool called Ignition. And so everybody, depending on what profile they are, will have different business models, different growth strategies, different tasks and activities that they ought to focus on. And they ought to not be just doing kind of what the latest thing is, if that doesn't fit with who they are and, you know, the way that they naturally operate. So this is one of the challenges that people have, is there is so much information out there and people get overwhelmed and confused because there's so much choice. And so it's really great that when you understand your own personality profile, then you're able to go, well, that's not for me. That might work great for you, and I'm really happy for you that you've had this amazing success story, but actually that wouldn't work for me. So it's getting clear on that helps, because that also helps you to understand what is your unique spark. What is it that makes you different from other people? There's a lady called, oh gosh, what's her name? Something Hogg. She wrote a book called Fascinate, and she says different is better than better.
That's okay? Very good, yeah.
What most people are doing is they're trying to be better, whereas actually, you know, of course you need to deliver proper value. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but it's actually about delivering, making yourself stand out in the marketplace. And that's really what I'm looking for people to do, is to confidently and profitably stand out from the competition. Now, I mean, you know, because you were doing kind of social media stuff, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, so yeah, I do organic engagement.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the thing is that in the creative services, you know, all of these things have become undervalued in many respects and become commoditized. So, and when somebody charges by the hour or by the day, then it's very easy to go, oh, well, this person charges X and this person charges Y, that's X plus by the times 2 or whatever. So I'm going to go with this person because their price, you know. Whereas when you actually create what I call a client attraction and conversion engine, then part of that is about how you stand out in the marketplace and how it's a no-brainer for your ideal clients to work with you and not even consider anybody else. And it stops you being a commodity. And, you know, the first part of doing that is to own your unique spark and the talents and the personality that you bring. You know, because we all have different vibes, don't we?
That's right, yeah.
You know, we've clicked instantly.
We did, yeah. But we're very similar. I think we're maybe even the same personality type. We're very, very similar. I know that. Yeah,
quite possibly. And the thing is that, you know, people will click with their ideal clients as well. And sometimes it's because their ideal clients are very like them. Like for me, I'm a creative also. I worked in creative agencies for 7 years. I did PR and marketing. I'm an actor and filmmaker. You know, that's what I do now when I'm not coaching. And so I get the creative mind, but I've had to learn the lessons of being focused, of being specific, of sticking to things.
We are the same type.
My key word for this year is consistency.
This is funny what you're saying, actually, because, well, we are definitely the same type now. All these things you described, you know, I was just saying that I need to hire a VA who is all those things because, you know, but this is interesting because what I came to is I'm marketing and my ideal client is literally, I'm like, they're so alike to me, maybe just a little bit behind me. I'm literally talking to myself in my copy, you know, because and I relate and then connect to people on such a deep level, you know, that it's really amazing, you know. So understanding your personality and owning, just going for it, and, you know, not trying to. I have this new vibe this couple of days, like, don't try to prove yourself even anything. Just be yourself. You don't need to be proving.
Very off-putting, any kind of proving, any kind of, because like. You know, because that's coming from not approving of oneself, it's coming from a feeling of lack, of scarcity and those things. And, you know, I think it drives people to potentially become and kind of give off a bit of a desperate vibe. And so it's really important that people feel kind of solid in who they are and stop trying to sell to everybody. Everybody
That's
is not
right.
your client.
Don't talk to the universe. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so, well, if it's okay, what I'd like to do is just bring people quickly through what is your client attraction and conversion engine, so they can actually follow these steps for themselves. So it's kind of in two parts. So the first part is something that you do as a project, okay? It has a start date, it has an end date. And in fact, when I'm working with my clients, that's exactly what we do. We work for 30 to 60 days to create this stuff. And it's the first part is getting into who you are and, you know, what makes you different and what makes you good and all of those things. And then the second part is about, and also part of that is around your purpose, your why are you doing this in the first place, and looking to bring that into your business. Even if it's not directly related to your clients, it can be brought in as part of your business model in terms of a giving or contribution to a cause or something like that. The second step is about getting really clear on your ideal client. Now, lots of people talk about this, so I guarantee you there are people watching this right now going, well, yeah, I know that.
Again, this ideal client.
To know and not to do is not to know.
Listen, I can say testify here, because until I got very clear on my ideal client, which honestly happened like weeks ago, I was just so unclear, because for me, ideal client is two words with no meaning. You know, it was like there's sometimes I get these phrases, business phrases or whatever, and I don't understand what it is. I just don't understand. And then I got it.
Understand in theory, but it's applying it to yourself as well.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. And so what I'm talking about is that it's not just a demographic. It's actually about who they are. It's about their values. It's about what their priorities. Okay, if you don't understand your client's priorities, you're not going to be able to sell them anything. And you've got to understand them well enough to know what is their pain that they really want solved, that you can solve for them, or aspiration that they're really keen on. And so you've got to be able to do that, and so it's not just enough, like for me, it's not just enough for me to say, oh, I work with creative business owners. It's actually, I work creative services providers. I do also work with some product people, but usually it's services. Because I can really quickly get them raising their prices, and you know they're in a situation usually where they're working quite hard. They're like that hamster on that wheel, and they don't know how to grow their business without killing or cloning themselves in the process. So it's a situation and it's a feeling, and do you know what I mean? It's not just creative services owners. It's that specific, and so the thing is that when you get that clear, then you understand how to create a compelling offer. So that's the third step. Okay, so you've got your unique spark, you've got your ideal client and what pain you solve for them, and then you've got a compelling offer. Because how can you create an offer that's compelling to them if you don't really understand them and their biggest challenge?
Exactly.
So, and that compelling offer, that's about packaging it, okay? It's, you know, for people who do consulting and coaching, it's about a program. For people like designers, photographers, animators, etc., it's about a package. What are you kind of including in that? And what do you leave out as well? And when you get clear on all of that, then it makes the next two steps so much easier, because you're able to kind of break that down. I'll talk about what I mean with that in a moment. But just still on the offer, this is the difference between, you know, person A and person B charging to do X or to do ABC, you know, say to do website design. Okay, so one person will create an e-commerce store, another person will create an e-commerce store, and then you've got, and it's all about, well, we charge this amount per hour or this amount per day, and that actually also leaves clients going, well, okay, well, this person charges that, but what if they work twice as fast as this other person? Do you know what I mean? Like, should you actually get penalized for being better in charging by the hour? What if your experience and knowledge means that you're able to design a logo in half the time as somebody less experienced, but you're charging the same rate?
That's right. And in fact, you know, let's just mention this, and it's not off topic, but it's just mentioned. If you're still selling your time for money, remember that this is the lowest way of valuing yourself, the lowest way. And even if you turn that into packages, I did that back in 2015. You know, I went to all my clients who were charging me, I was charging them by the hour. And to be honest with you, I was so undercutting my prices just because at that stage I thought if I'm cheap then and I'm so good that everybody will work with me. Well, that didn't make me more clients, to be honest, because people didn't think I was good enough because, you know, I could be working for them for 100 quid a week, you know, doing something small where somebody else charges 200. They must be better. And this didn't work. But what I did is I sent everybody an email with a proposal and said, look, it's not going to cost you any more than what I'm paying, what you're paying me now, because it was kind of set amount of hours anyway, but it's not hour based. So you can't say to me, you are mine for 10 hours. So you can't say to me, it doesn't matter how much you're paying me. It's none of your business how long it takes me to do this. Exactly. Right? It's what's the value you get.
Yes, absolutely. And this is the thing, is that I think people, you know, I think when people are feeling insecure, they actually can be very self-conscious and really focused.
Oh, I hope we didn't lose Una.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, you're back. And then you're gone again. We have a little bit of problems, but oh yeah, you're back.
Okay, I'm here. So what I was saying was that when people are feeling insecure, it's really easy for them to be focused entirely on themselves.
Right, I'm not sure. You know what? I actually have another laptop going on here, and I think that maybe it's interfering with the IP address. I just switched it off, so hopefully we won't be interrupted there.
Excellent. So, did you hear what I said there about the...
No, you'll have to repeat it. So.
Okay. So what I was saying was that when people are feeling insecure about themselves, about their services or products and the prices, then they can be very self-conscious. So they're focused in on me, what I feel, what I think. They're focused on what do other people think about me. Am I going to be rejected? Am I going to go out there with this and then fail? So these are the kinds of things that are going through their minds, whereas actually what they need to be focused on is how can I add the most value to my client in a way that they really want it. And when they focus on that, then they're able to put together a really compelling package for them, a really compelling offer that is different from what other people are doing. And that helps them to stand out in the marketplace, and they're able to price it accordingly to the client's value. And it actually takes, to a certain extent, it takes your sense of self-worth out of the equation. Now, obviously, when you're opposite another person and actually asking for the sale, then, you know, how you do that, you know, how confident you feel is going to come back into it. But let me talk about the other two aspects of raising your prices. So you now have got, because you've worked through your unique spark and your ideal client, you've now got this lovely, compelling offer that's a no-brainer for your ideal clients. But what you now need to do is start generating leads. And this is an area that so many fall down on. And and I think part of it is that, particularly for the creative services providers, their most natural way to add value is to create and to create and to create and to create. To leverage that value by marketing it doesn't always come naturally. So it's important to get really clear, well, what are the top 2 or 3 ways that you can focus on? Don't try and do everything, but also do more than just one thing. Or like, this is the biggest
You're talking about marketing.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that people do is they depend on word of mouth. Now, it's quite interesting, I've had several conversations with very well-established businesses this year who've been going like 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden their work is drying up, and they are not doing any lead generation because they were depending on word of mouth. But you've got, you know, overseas competition, you've got lots of people DIYing with apps, you've got Canva, you know, anyone who's got a smartphone is able to like run a media company from it.
That's true.
So the thing is that you've got all these competitors, and people have a different concept of what it takes to do design or make a video or whatever, yeah? And so that's another reason why you really have to get into your ideal clients and create a compelling offer that they realize, oh, I can't just outsource this to India or the Philippines and it's going to be done the way I want. I need this person's expertise, their perspective, what it is that they're bringing into it. And sometimes that means people, creative services in particular, need to up their game a bit. It's not enough to just be a designer. You need to understand business strategy. You need to understand what it is that your clients really want from you. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind.
You know, you're so right. You're so right about particularly that area. Web designers, web designers who create business websites that they don't understand how business runs. E-commerce stores that they don't understand how purchasing decisions are made and how people need to go. Like I'm a web designer as well as in my other world. Yes, and I have to say, I am shocked and entirely like just utterly. If I hear somebody's web developer and they're selling websites to small business owners, I'm like, do not waste your time and money because they don't understand what you need. So
no, absolutely. And the thing is that so in the other aspects, so you got generating leads, and this is again where you're bringing in your personality type and choosing the lead generation strategies that work for you. So for me, doing live streaming is perfect. You know, I'm a natural performer. I love being on camera.
Yes.
I know it terrifies some people. For me, I'm just like, yeah, great. Yeah, it's a camera. I don't mind. I'm talking to you. I'm having a conversation with you. That's what it feels like to me. So, you know,
we are alike. You know, we're probably some sort of twin sisters.
Yeah, but for other people it might not be the right strategy. You know, they might want to have that face-to-face connection and do lots of networking. But like for me, I do some networking, but it's not my primary way of getting business. And so you've got to figure out what is it that works for you. What's your number one? What's your number two? What's your number three? And focus entirely on those. And do not depend on just one type. Because if you do, the chances are it's going to fall apart at some point and you're going to be left with nothing. I've made that mistake in the past. Don't do that.
I've learned it actually the hard way as well. When I was trying to do something, just one thing, and it wasn't even for my business this year, but before. And you know what? It doesn't work. But what does work is a combination of channels. So if you're doing marketing and you're doing live streaming, make sure that you grow your email list and you send the emails to reinforce this, you know, or you're also on Instagram. Like this kind of what is the word for it? Multi-presence.
Yeah.
Or there's a word for it. I'm dyslexic, sorry. I always say that, but it's true.
Exactly what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, so you just have to do that, yeah. And word of mouth, guys, of course it's important, but it can't live. These day and age where we have
you cannot scale it, you shouldn't focus on it.
That's right, exactly, perfect.
Scale word of mouth. You can increase it a bit by asking.
Like you should,
yeah. Some of my clients, hey, who do you know? And actually one of them said, actually I've been talking to somebody and telling them to call you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you should always ask for referrals, guys. It's nothing wrong with that.
Depend on it. It isn't predictable. You have no control over it. Whereas you can control your outputs in what you do around lead generation. Okay, so very quickly, the last part then is around your sales funnel. Now, I actually call lead generation filling your dance card. You know, in the old days, that you had a dance card and people would have to kind of pop the names down when they were interested to dance with you.
Is that an Irish thing?
No, it was like Victorian times.
Oh, okay.
Like when they had ballrooms, and big fancy dresses and things.
I live down the country in Ireland, and things like that can still happen.
You know, just watch Downton, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, so because I call a sales funnel a sales dance, and here's the reason why is that so I used to do a lot of salsa dancing, right? So if you imagine any kind of partner dancing, okay, and what's happening is that you're both moving, so you kind of one takes a step, the other takes a step, and you're back and forth, and that's actually what you want your sales funnel to look like. But in partner dancing, there is always a leader, and that leader has to be you, not them. Okay, now you know, the sales dance is simply a series of steps where you do something, they do something, you do something, they do something. And you should literally be able to map it out like that. This is what I do with my clients because it makes sure that at every stage of the process, you get really clear on well, what value are you giving? How are you educating your client? What decisions are they making through that? What decisions are you making about, whether you're a good fit, and do you invite them to the next stage? And this is
all still at the lead generation, sales, conversation level.
Right, but we need to think of it in terms of you create your offer by looking at your unique spark, your ideal client and their pain that you solve for them, and your compelling offer. So you've got to create that first. Then what you do is you look at the sales dance that you're creating. What are the steps in that? And what bit of your offer are you going to actually use as part of your marketing, education-based marketing, to help enroll your clients into that dance? And then you can look at, okay, so now that I'm clear on this and where I'm going to be sending people and what I'm going to be talking about, what's the best way for me to do that with my natural strengths and ability? And then you have those 2 to 3 methods of lead generation that you're doing on a daily and weekly basis to enroll people. Now, here's the thing, is that as part of that sales dance, you can be charging for some of those things. And so, like, one of my best examples at the moment is a PR consultant who's been working with me, and they were, quite severely undercharging. And since they've been working with me, and we've put this in place, we're still refining some things about them proactively bringing those leads in. But we put the sales dance in place, and so the next inquiry they had, and it was really interesting. This company had been floating around for quite a while, and they kind of came back to her and started talking to her again. And this time she said, okay, well, the next step is to do this, and it's £500. Would you like to go ahead with that? And they said, yeah, sure. And she nearly fell off a chair. She was like, oh my God. Because what was happening is she was having lots of meetings with loads of people who were interested in her services, and giving them loads of ideas and talking to them for a long time and over several occasions. And then they wouldn't buy from her. They'd say it was too expensive, but she was really undercharging. Now, what's interesting is that, with the next 2 clients she got, first she doubled her prices, and then she tripled what she'd originally been charging. And she got £500 for that initial consultation as well. Wow. So you can, when you put the right structure around things, you absolutely get these results. I've experienced it myself. Last year I doubled my prices. I doubled them again this year. I'm planning to double them again early next year as well. So I think it's really important to put this structure into your business, because it makes you think about what does your client really want and how are you going to deliver it to them and how do you enroll them. So yeah, I have kind of some of this stuff outlined in a free guide, if that's something people
right, and that brings me to my next question. So I want to hire you. I've already spoken to my bank for the big loan because you are expensive. So I'm going to invest in my future. I want to put structures in. How do I find you? We're going to have the free guide, and where else can we find you?
Yeah, I'll pop a link in the comments once we're finished. So it's called it's the number 1 surefire strategy to raise your prices without pushback. And so it outlines, it'll echo some of the things we talked about here, but there's a bit more in it as well. So what people can do is I have an introductory call that we can have first, because and then if people are a good fit and they want me to help them further and I think I can help them, then they could buy a Get Focused strategy session with me. And then if many people get that and that's all they need. But if they then want further help, they can work with me further. And I actually work it so that it's called a Creative Success Code program. And so it's because it's all about what's your code for success. Because what I haven't really mentioned is I've given the structure for how to raise your prices, but in order for people to be successful, they usually have to change their ways of working, and I do a lot of work with people on that. We put in place a weekly flow framework about how they structure the week in a flexible way, okay? So they're not tied down, but all the important stuff gets done. Yeah. We actually look at, their habits and, what is it, anything that's getting in their way of being successful, we will address that in that program. So the first stage really for anybody is to book a free 20-minute introductory call with me. I guarantee you will get at least one insight, tip or strategy as a result of that. We'll talk about what are your goals, and what's the fastest and easiest way for you to get there.
I absolutely love it. This is brilliant. I think we just from this 30 minutes, we just got so many golden nuggets as well. That guys, do take that offer up. Una is brilliant, and I'm planning to bring Una back to the Easy Chat show. Maybe we'll do some collaboration, because I think it's great when we're talking and there's a lot of people we can actually reach because we're so similar. There's a great vibe, isn't it? You should agree, guys. There's a great vibe when you have two people of the same personality delivering a show. So I'm planning to do more of that with Una. Anyway, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I thought it was a good show and I invited everybody, and I was right. It was absolutely awesome, and the information that you gave us, in itself even, you can actually just watch the show, guys, and just write it down and start implementing. Already you'll get results, right?
Yeah,
and get that goal.
If you implement it yourself, listen at least 3 times, because you will hear different things each time.
That's right. All right, guys, thank you so much. This is me done for this week for the Easy Chats. Oh, my dog is barking. So I better go, but I will see you next week. And tomorrow we have a Sheraton. Una, did you get into the Sheraton tomorrow?
I'm on the reserve list.
Grand. So that's 2 o'clock UK time. A bunch of amazing people, including us, is going to talk about, and tomorrow's topic is from financial disaster to abundance, so something like that. But it's going to be interesting, so I'm going to have to come up with something for that as well. I'm going to be there at the end of the hour, and I hope you watch that on my personal page, Juliette, my personal profile, Juliette Stapleton, and Una should be there as well. So, well, hopefully.
If I'm honest, I'll be doing it from my Creative Flow TV page.
Perfect. Thanks a million, everybody, for joining us.
Have
a great night. Bye.